So also there's the Second Amendment issue.
Yeah.
And you consider yourself a proponent of the Second Amendment.
I do.
And how would you describe the difference between maybe how you view the Second Amendment and Hillary Clinton?
Yeah. Well, I believe that it recognizes an individual right to keep and bear arms. And like other individual rights, they're subject to reasonable restrictions, and there are reasonable restrictions in place. The problem is different people can, in good faith, disagree about what is a reasonable restriction, what is unreasonable. For example, I can tell you that over my 8 years as a legislator, I have an A rating with the NRA. I do believe, however, that someone whose name is on the no-fly list because there may be a connection with terrorism, that they probably ought not be able to go in and buy a gun. I think that is a reasonable restriction, and I believe that ultimately, if the National Rifle Association and other Second Amendment supporters maintain their opposition to even such, meager restrictions on that right, that ultimately the support for the organization and maybe even for the Second Amendment itself will erode. But I grew up in northern Tangipahoa Parish with 6 brothers and a dad. We all love to hunt, and my views on the Second Amendment are informed by that experience. And I personally don't choose to own any assault rifles. Everything that I own, I can hunt with. It's a shotgun or it's a rifle. But there are other people who enjoy target shooting and that sort of thing. And so I do support the Second Amendment. And in fact, in the race for governor last year, you all probably didn't notice it because it didn't happen, but the NRA didn't endorse me or my opponent. They found both of us completely acceptable and stayed out of the race.